Good morning or early after. I don't know what time it is where you're at right now. It's late morning right now for Chewy and the Porg and myself and my Maxon SD9 Sonic Distortion awesome pedal. How's everybody doing today? We're going to continue with the Throwdown. I think Jason's here already. I'm running pretty late with everything this week, so I didn't get a chance to send a email out to the community. So I think it'll take a while for people to start streaming in here a little bit. They might be like, "Hey, it's 11 on Wednesday. Where's Lee at?" Chris is here. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Awesome video, Chris. I enjoyed watching that. Let's see here. Rob's here. Hi, Rob. What's up, homie? 4:01 a.m. Man, I don't know how you do it. 4:01. There was a time. Let's see here. About 3 months ago, where I was doing the 5 a.m. thing, just trying to get a lot of stuff done, and it put a hurting on me. So that getting up early stuff's blown out of the water now. Charlie's here. How you doing, man? Let's see here. He said, Rob said, be right back in a couple minutes. Got to get my last pair. Oh, so you're up from the night before. I see. Awesome. Good to see you, Charlie. How you doing, man? We're going to finish out our best guitar albums of the 90s today. Let's see here. Rob says, I'm mixing our albums, so got to wait for kids to sleep. That's yeah, I know. I was mastering an album for a band that was a local band where I was living a few years ago, and it was right after my daughter was born, and I was mastering and taking care of the baby and mastering and going back and forth, both of those. Not an easy thing to do. It's hard to focus. Okay, so what's going on in the community? Podcast came out. We're doing Eddie Van Halen type symmetrical scales. The symmetrical scales are not intervallic symmetrical scales. Blech. They're fingering symmetrical scales. So the diminished scale and the whole tone scale are scales that the intervals are always the same: half step, whole step, half step, whole step, and then you take those across the guitar. The what we're talking about is patterns. 1 2 4 1 2 4 1 2 4 1 2 4 all the way across. Easy stuff you wouldn't think would work. It's too easy. And listening back to a lot of Eddie Van Halen stuff, I've been listening to a lot of it. He uses that all over the place. Sometimes he'll use 1 2 4 with a fret in between, so it's 2 major seconds, and he'll do that across all the strings. And most of the notes are in the key, and then some of them don't, depending on what fret you start on. You might get some minor third, major third tension there. And so using those to your advantage is what we're talking about in the podcast today. Also in the VIP section, if you haven't joined the VIP section, you can support the podcast and also this live stream for only starting at $3 a month. And we're going to be talking about Marshalls this week. Which I was going to have that episode out today, but I had family in town last week, and I'm just catching up right now. So I'll probably do it tomorrow. And I've got my Vintage Modern and my Marshall DSL 50 all ready to go right over here, right there. And we're going to be talking about getting cool tones from Marshalls, different ways of, miking them at low levels or going direct. And I have to make some decisions about that too. So a lot of fun things are happening. And let's see here. Kevin's here. Awesome. Great to see you, Kevin. How are you doing? Staying warm? How's it up in the, well, it's not the great way, but you're up there. You're up there. Past Halloween, so it's probably getting cooler up there. Okay. So we've got some folks kind of coming in as we go. Please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't. We're going to try and make sure that we build this. We've got a great core of folks, and we're going to just build and build and build this and do more of it too. Let's head over to, let's see here. What have we got this week for round 2? Last week, we went through all the way up to No More Tears from Ozzy. That was Beat Out. Alice in Chains beat out Guns N' Roses, beat out a lot. Let's see here. Nirvana, Black Crowes, Pantera beat out a lot of very, very, very strong albums. This week we've got a bunch more. We got some Chili Peppers, Satriani, Jane's Addiction, Soundgarden, Almond Brothers, Santana. Let's see here. Metallica, Pearl Jam, Radiohead, Megadeth. We'll go through all of them in a minute. Kim says it's cold. Yes, it is. I'll bet it's cold. It's cooling off here. It ain't cold though. I'll tell you that right now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started in just a second. Let's see. Our first, I do know David's. I think he's still out of town. So hopefully he's having a great time on his vacation that's been planned for a long time. And we're going to get some folks in here coming in a minute. But let's start off with who we got here. We got Jason and Chris and Rob, Charlie, and Kevin. That's enough. The less people we have, the more your vote counts, right? So, all right. So we are going to start off with Chili Peppers versus Satriani. That's the Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic album, which was enormous. And then Crystal Planet by Satriani. So the Chili Peppers album, everybody knows that. We all had that. We all bought that. It was worth it. A lot of great songs on it. And I played a lot of those songs in cover bands. And let me go through. I'll just go through both the tracks on both of them. So let's see, here were the tracks. Late night podcasting. Goodness. I'm up. I'm awake. Where are the tracks? Good. Okay, so Power of Equality, if you have to ask. Breaking the Girl, there's one. Funky Monks was cool. Suck My Kiss was huge. Could Have Lied, Mailship Slinky, Righteous, Give It Away, of course. The title track, Under the Bridge, huge. Those were the big ones. The other ones are My Love. I liked a lot of them, but they weren't big. But those were the big ones right there. And let's see here. Satriani, Crystal Planet. Okay, so the one that I know from This Is Love Thing, that's the one that he played in a lot of the G3 concerts that he did. Most of the Crystal Planet and Love Thing were pretty good. And because these are instrumental, you may have heard them as backing background music. Okay, so pretty sure I know this is. Let's see, Joe Satriani, Chili Peppers, and let's see, Jason's in with Chili Peppers. I figured that's how the Charlie as well, Chris as well. Yes, so Kevin's in there as well. I figured this one was going to go. That's an unfair matchup right there. Okay, so we're going to give that one to the Chili Peppers. And we're going to move into our second round here, which is Jane's Addiction. I don't know if Ritual de lo Habitual. I don't know if I guess Habitual. I don't know. And then Soundgarden, Super Unknown. So let's see here. Let's copy that. Put this in. Let's see the track listing on this. Dun, 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 dun. Let's just go with Been Caught Stealing. I played that a million times. That was a huge song. What are the other ones? So it's Stop, Ain't No Right, Caught Stealing, Then She Did, Classic Girl, No One's Leaving, Obvious 3 Days, and of course, Been Caught Stealing was the big one. You couldn't go to a J.C. Penney's without hearing that. It broke. And then, let's see, what's the other one? Is Super Unknown by Soundgarden. So let's get the tracks for that one. Let's see here. Let Me Drown, Fell on Black Days, Super Unknown, Black Hole Sun, Limo Wreck, Kickstand, 4th of July, Like Suicide, My Way, Spoon Man, right? So we got basically Fell on Black Days, which was big, Black Hole Sun, which was enormous song, and Spoon Man. Now this is guitar, right? So we're going to talk about what's the best guitar album. Okay, let's head. I'm gonna head back here. So Jane's Addiction, Soundgarden. Let's see here. Chris says Rachel has some great guitar stuff. Gets my vote for 3 days, and then she did. Okay, so let's see here. I'll say Jane's Addiction versus Soundgarden. So we've got Chris for Jane's Addiction and Jason for Soundgarden. Rob's back. Great to have you with your late night, early morning. Charlie's going Soundgarden. So let's see here. Let's see what Rob's got. What do we get? We have four people voting at the moment. We've got a few more of that are watching. If you're watching, please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't. We're doing a little throwdown here of best 90s guitar albums. And all you have to do to participate is use the chat. This one is Jane's Addiction, Ritual de lo Habitual, and Soundgarden, Super Unknown. And we're putting them up head to head. Right now, we've got Soundgarden up by 1. We'll wait a minute. We're going to wait for, let's see here. Let's see with Rob. Rob says, I got to go Jane's Addiction. I prefer Bad Motorfinger. Okay, yeah. Bad Motorfinger was great too. I saw Soundgarden at a smaller event at the Trocadero in Philadelphia when they came around. And I didn't know much about them. I lived in Center City, Philadelphia. So like, hey, Soundgarden's playing. You want to go? I'm like, yeah, I didn't know who they were. and it was the earlier album. And it was nuts, man. There was a balcony and Chris Cornell climbed, like it was like a rope or like, I don't know what it was, but he crowd surfed to the back, climbed up to the balcony, went all the way across the balcony, and then jumped off the other side. And I thought, this guy's nuts, right? Kevin's here that says, but what got me the most was Kim Thayil's guitar playing. I loved it. I thought that tone he had a great tone and was doing some different, very different for what was going on at the time. Kevin says, this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Jane's Addiction for that one. Okay. So we're going to give this one to Jane's Addiction here. And we're going to move on. The next one is kind of classic rock. Let's see here. Classic rock albums that were in the 90s. There was a big resurgence of different classic rock bands in the 90s. Some bands that kind of tanked in the 80s were kind of coming back in the 90s. So what we've got here is the Almond Brothers, Where It All Begins, Back to Where It All Begins, I think it was, and then Santana was Supernatural. The Almond Brothers got much bigger when Warren Haynes joined the band in the 90s, and their guitar playing really was elevated to that. Started a whole lot that Warren Haynes era, and then you also had like Fish, and you had like this. They started this kind of a little bit more hard rock in jam bands in the 90s, right there. And then Santana with Supernatural. That album, that was late 90s, so that was in 99, I think. So it squeaked in there, but totally, brought Santana back to the forefront. Of course, he had was it Rob Thomas that helped. That helped. But that sound of the guitar, both these are 60s bands that had a resurgence in the 90s. Let's see here. Rob's in first. Let's see. Let's go to Santana and Almond Brothers. So Rob says, Santana for me, not particular into either, but good memories from Carlos. Okay. And then Chris says, gonna admit, not hurt either, but enjoying the Santana, so we'll make that album my next spin and vote for Carlos. Okay. So we got 2 for Santana here. I would say, if you have a moment, to also listen to that, some of the 90s Almond Brothers stuff, where Warren Haynes starts to bring some guitar. As a guitar player, and if you ever play that style of music, Southern rock into jam band stuff, it's very, very cool stuff. It's almost a class on how to remain interesting, how to improvise and keep interesting ideas. And Warren Haynes is fantastic at that. Okay. Jason says, Rob, Thomas, and Everlast. I'll go Santana as well. All right. Looks like Santana's taking this one. And Charlie says Santana too. So let's see what we got. We got 4 in. Let's see. We'll wait for Kevin. We'll see. Kevin, are you at work? Hate to be bothering everybody at work. No, I don't care. Hey, everybody. Working? We're going to play some guitar stuff here. But we're going to give this one to Santana and move on. Kevin went for Almond Brothers. Okay. In caps. There you go. There you go. All right. So now, let's see here. Our next round is Foo Fighters and Metallica. Almond Brothers. Kevin says, I am at work. Well, hey, everyone else at work. How are you doing? So we've got Foo Fighters and Metallica. Foo Fighters album Color and Shape, which is the debut. Let's see here. Let's go to the track. Let's go to the tracks. We've been listening to this a lot lately. Okay. Scrolling. Okay. Everlong, of course. So it's Doll, Monkey Wrench, Hey Johnny Park, My Poor Brain, Wind Up, Up in Arms, My Hero, right? See You, Enough Space, February Stars, Everlong, Walking After You, and New Way Home. And then the Metallica, the Black Album. Whew. Let's see here. Let's get a track listing for that. Thanks for being patient with me here. This was early. This was 91. Black Album was August 12th, 1991. We've got Enter Sandman, Holier Than Thou, Wherever I May Roam, Through the Never, Of Wolf and Man, My Friend of Misery, Sad But True, Unforgiven, Don't Tread on Me, Nothing Else Matters, The God That Failed in the Struggle Within. I know what I would pick here. So we've got Foo Fighters and Metallica. And it's a shame because Foo Fighters are pretty good. But I'm going, personally, I would go with the Black Album. Chris is there. Chris says, let's go Black Album. He says another tough one, going Metallica for that one. Same with Charlie. Charlie's there. And Rob says, bit of a blah. Old school Metallica fan. Love the epicness of the previous albums. Took me quite a while to get into it. However, the mix is fantastic. Metallica. Yeah. Watching a lot of stuff about bass players, like the controversy about the what was it, Injustice for All with so they basically pulled the bass out, and then watched the interview with Michael Anthony from Van Halen, and he said you could up until, was it for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, you couldn't even hear the bass most of the time. You could hear the bass on Running with the Devil because they brought it up in the beginning. But Jason says, so Rob's on Metallica. Jason says Black Album was the first CD I ever owned. And then Jason says Metallica, right? And then Kevin says, I feel like that was the album that Kirk Hammett actually got some feeling into his playing. Yeah, it's different. It's not... It was their branching out album, right? And it was perfectly timed. So the minute they started to think about, doing some different feels and different things, that it was, I think everyone was ready for everybody knew about Metallica. And you see, everyone had Metallica t-shirts and jackets and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't get huge until they started. And then later on, when they started doing the covers and all that kind of stuff, and it went too far to me. But this was the first part where I think they could have used a little branching out at that time. And Kevin says, I remember him saying he was listening to a lot of blues at that time too. Yeah. Not just fast stuff. And some different tones on that album too. So let's see here. Master of Puppets was of Metallica. I would say Master of Puppets is my favorite. I wore that out. But as far as 90s albums, yeah, that was pretty big. Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna give that to Metallica. Sorry, Dave Grohl. All right, so 10, Pearl Jam versus OK Computer, Radiohead. Let's look at the tracks for 10. So we've got a lot of the one word titles. Once, Alive, awesome song. Black, awesome song. Oceans, awesome song. Garden, don't remember Garden. Release, okay. Even Flow, fantastic. Why Go, Jeremy, that was enormous song. Porch, and Deep. So only 2 of the songs with 2 words in them. All the rest, one. And then let's see here. OK Computer, Radiohead. Let's get the tracks for that. So Airbags, Subterranean Homesick, Let It Down, Fitter Happier, Climbing Up the Walls, Lucky, Paranoid, Exit Music, Carmen Police, Electioneering, No Surprises, and The Tourist. That was a big album for me. The Pearl Jam, as far as a guitar album, the 2 guitar interplay on that, and the combining of like Hendrixy styles with like heavy guitar, heavier, not super heavy, but heavier guitar, to me was definitely more influential for that. Let's see what we got. So Pearl Jam, Radiohead. So Jason's in first with 10. Kevin as well. Rob says Pearl Jam 10 is amazing, and I'm not a big Pearl Jam fan. Yeah, it is. It was amazing, and actually Pearl Jam, as they went on, lost a lot. I bought like the next one, and then I just kind of faded away after that. But I played a lot of these songs. Chris says Pearl Jam. I went off Radiohead after the bands. I still haven't listened to OK Computer. Yeah, it was a big album. I don't even. It's not for me. Let's see here. And Charlie, Pearl Jam. Okay, so Pearl Jam takes that one hands down. Done. With that, we are tearing through these today. All right. This is terrible. This is a terrible matchup right here. This is terrible. I'm curious and interesting. Let's see what happens. So we got Megadeth, Rust in Peace versus Automatic for the People, REM. Completely different, right? Like both of them. Rust in Peace. Okay. The track listing for this, although I could just probably say it out loud here. I've listened to it so many times. Holy Wars, right? Opens up. Just nuts like that. Take No Prisoners, Poison with a Cure, Tornado of Souls, Rust in Peace, Polaris. Awesome. Hangar 18, my favorite. Five Magics, Lucretia, and Dawn Patrol. And then Automatic for the People. Let's see here. Where did it go? Hey, come back. There it is. Let me copy that. Copy. And put her in there. Let's get the tracks for this. Drive, Sidewinder Sleeps, New Orleans, Monty Got a Raw Deal, Stormy Kid, Night Song, Try Not to Breathe. Everybody Hurts. It's a big one. Sweetness Follows, Ignoreland, Man on the Moon. So Everybody Hurts and Man on the Moon. Those are the two big ones there. Living in Central Georgia at the time, that it was, I moved there a little bit after this, but it was still being played all the time. REM was huge. It was a big deal there. And not just in the South too, even though they're a Southern Georgia band. But fantastic guitar playing. More than just guitar too. Mandolin, everything. Great songs. For me, the Megadeth was I would be going to I'd be playing a wedding, or I'd play a jazz gig, or I'd play all these, and Rust in Peace was that album that I play on the way over there to get excited about playing there. So all right, so let's see here. Rob's in first. And he is, let's see here, Megadeth and REM. Really weird combination here. So Rob says, Rest in Peace. The guitaring is absolute masterclass in shredding technique. I know, it's one of my favorite albums. And most people are surprised that I said that. So Megadeth, one for Rob, one for Kevin. Rest in Peace. Charlie's going REM. And Rob says, when you realize Dave sings and plays that stuff at the same time, the brain melts. Yes, very cool stuff. Chris says, I love Automatic, but the guitar work in Rust in Peace is great. We'll vote Megadeth for guitar album, but I'd rather listen to the REM. Yeah, if I was listening, I think you're right. If I was just going to listen to some music, I don't ever put on Megadeth. But when I'm driving or I'm getting excited about something, that's the first album I go to. Kevin says my band played Hangar 18. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, so for this 4-guitar album, Jason says I'm with Chris on that too. Okay, so Megadeth takes that for this throwdown. Okay, here we go. So we're going to have our next one. This will be interesting. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Ledbetter Heights. That was a really big album. Kenny Wayne Shepherd's still playing around here a lot, or has been up until the COVID stuff. We would have, in Georgia, we have street parties, and Kenny Wayne Shepherd would play these big outdoor street parties, playing all the time, still playing, and like Blue and Black and all those songs. Everybody's he came in at the same time as Johnny Lang came in, and it's kind of these young Stevie Ray Vaughan, Johnny Lang was more of a singer. Kenny Wayne Shepherd didn't sing, but it was kind of in that same. Johnny Lang was funkier. Kenny Wayne Shepherd was bluesier, but it was kind of that same deal. And Rage Against the Machine, which was just huge. I played a lot of Rage Against the Machine cover bands. Let's go through the tracks here. So, Ledbetter Heights, Born with a Broken Heart, Aberdeen, both great songs. One Foot on the Path. Let's see here. While We Cry. I think that was an instrumental. I think. Let Me Up, I've Had Enough, What's Going Down. Deja Voodoo, which was huge. Shame, Shame, Shame. Everybody Gets the Blues. I'm Leaving You, Committed Ground. That's a Stevie Ray Vaughan song. Riverside and Ledbetter Heights. So this was definitely a radio album here. Deja Voodoo being the biggest one. And then if we get Rage Against the Machine here. What do we got here? Track list. All right. Here we go. Got it. Took me a minute. Oh, I'm waking up. So we have Bomb Track, Killing in the Name of, which I've played a million times. Take the Power Back, Settle for Nothing, Bullet in the Head, Know Your Enemy, Wake Up, Fistful of Steel, Township, Rebellion, Freedom. I've heard this. You know, this album was just always playing. I just remember going to, guitar stores or friends' houses, and it was always playing. Kenny Wayne Shepherd not so much, but let's see here. So we got KWS versus Rage. Let's see what we got. Rob's in first. Says, for a minute there, I thought it said Leatherwood. Amazing guitar. Yeah, Rage Against the Machine for me. Someone dared to be different. Right. And great guitar playing. Very different guitar playing. Charlie says Rage 2. Kevin says, love some Kenny Wayne Shepherd, but Rage Against the Machine gets the vote. And same with Jason. And same with Chris. So that was an easy one there. I'm learning a lot about our community here. This is awesome. And here we go. Here's our last of the first round. So we're going to have Stone Temple Pilots, Purple, versus Division Bell, Pink Floyd. Let's start with the Pink Floyd first. Let's find out what year that was. This was 94. This was their 90's album, 94. Cluster 1, Pulls Apart, Great Day for Freedom, Take It Back, Keep Talking, High Hopes. What Do You Want From Me? Maroon, Wearing the Inside Out, Coming Back to Life, Lost for Words. What was the other? What year was Delicate? Sound of Thunder. What year was that? That was that was 88. Okay, right. So that was an 80's album. That wasn't this. What happened here? There we go. Okay, so, and then the other one was Purple, Stone Temple Pilots, right? Let's get that. And Meat, Plow, Loungefly, Still Remains, Silver Gun, Superman, Unglued, there we go. Kitchenware and Candy Bar, Vaseline, played that a bunch of times. Interstate, Love Song. Pretty Penny, Big Empty, and Army Ants. Vaseline, Interstate, Love Song, and Unglued are the three that I think that I learned a long time ago. That was a big guitar album for me. So let's see here. Pink Floyd for Division Bell and STP. What do we got here? Kevin says Floyd, saw them on that tour. Amazing. Awesome. Okay. Chris says tough matchup. We're going to wait on Chris for that one. Charlie says Stone Temple Pilots. Kevin says I was typing Stone Temple Pilots until Lee said Pink Floyd, then I had to delete. Okay. Stone Temple Pilots for Rob too. So let's see. We've got 2 for Stone Temple Pilots and 1 for Pink Floyd. Jason is in with Stone Temple Pilots. So it's 3-1. Looks like Stone Temple Pilots takes that one. Yeah, I need to go back and listen to that album, the Pink Floyd, the Division Bell. I know the Delicate Sound of Thunder one more than the Division Bell. I need to go back and listen to that. Okay, so there's round 1. Now in round 2, we have 4 matchups as we go through this. Chris says I'm going Stone Temple Pilots. Floyd is good, but it's just more of the same. Okay, so no Stone Temple Pilots. Okay, so our first. This is a good matchup right here. So what we have here is Chili Peppers against Jane's Addiction. Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic against Ritual de lo Habitual. It's kind of similar vein of when these came out, the style, very California, very kind of I don't know which way I would go with that, but I know which one I would pick, but I'll leave it at that. So we've got Peppers, RHCP versus Jane's Addiction. Chili Peppers was funk. It had an element of rap to it. Jane's Addiction, the vocals were just different. But the guitar playing was very LA, right? Very, very, very LA hard rock guitar playing. It's kind of like if you jammed LA hard rock, if you did jams on that sound. I listen to that sound. I hear Boss pedals in that. So let's see here. Kevin's in first. He's saying Peppers. Charlie says Chili Peppers. Chris says 2 of my favorites. Blood Sugar edges it for the Frusciante. I don't ever try and touch his last name. Licks. Frusciante, maybe? I don't know. But the Jane's Addiction solo, Dave Navarro, right? Dave Navarro. So we're going Chili Peppers, I think, takes this. Dave Navarro is a fantastic guitar player. He gets, he did. Do you remember that TV show they did? I think it was with Tommy Lee and Dave Navarro. It was like they were trying to find a singer for a fake band, and they actually were going to go on tour and all that kind of stuff. So Dave Navarro does a lot of TV and he's into fashion and all that kind of stuff. He was a really good guitar player, but Frusciante, I don't know. This is much more my style. So Jason's Chili Peppers, and Rob says it's a tight match, but I feel Jane's was leading the way through the experimental side of things. So good, Jane. Okay, so Chili Peppers take this, but I understand what Rob's saying, and that's what I was trying to put into words there. So, and he's getting his last drink. Oh yes. So we'll give that one to Chili Peppers, and we'll move on. So here's 2 big albums, and this is guitar albums there. So Supernatural, Santana, and Black Album, Metallica. That album, the Santana album, brought guitar to a lot of people. It was huge, and it was filled with lead guitar. It was a lead guitar album. But the Metallica album, I taught I taught some of the Santana, but mostly I was teaching from students I had back then. I was teaching a lot of the Black Album. So let's see here. Santana versus Metallica. And Kevin's in first. Metallica. So it's Jason. So it's Charlie. So we got 3 up for Metallica. Let's see. We'll wait just a second. That's where I would go to. I would probably go with the Black Album. As far as guitar albums, that was big. That was big. Let's see here. Who do we not have? We don't have Chris in yet. Rob's getting a drink. Let's see here. We've got Kevin, Jason, and Charlie. We'll wait on Chris, and Chris is going Black Album, but it's no, but it's not Smell the Glove. No, it's not. Smell the Glove. I'm getting the track listing for that. Hellhole. I should have. What year was this? Okay, was Smell the Glove the movie title? But I think they called it This Is Spinal Tap, the soundtrack. But the movie title of their album was Smell the Glove. Hellhole, Tonight I'm Gonna Rock You, Tonight. Heavy Duty, Rock and Roll Creation America, Cups and Cakes. Cups and Cakes, that was hysterical. Big Bottom, Sex Farm, Stonehenge, Give Me Some Money, and Listen to the Flower People. And then the bonus tracks was Christmas with the Devil. Yeah, that was awesome. I just think was it Christopher Guest did a perfect Jeff Beck. Perfect. It was a perfect Jeff Beck. Okay, so let's see. Rob's back. Rob says, I'm back, Metallica all the way. Sorry, Carlos. Okay, so Metallica takes that one. Bobby, I'm remembering all of the Spinal Tap stuff. Bobby Fleckman as their manager. Ugh. That was awesome. That was a fantastic movie. I watched it way too many times. Let's see here. 10, Pearl Jam versus Rust in Peace, Megadeth for guitar albums. So we've got Pearl Jam versus Megadeth. Owned both those albums back when you owned albums, and enjoyed most of them. Listened to both of them all the time. It's a tough one. These are both different guitar style albums that I would listen to at different times, and I enjoyed both of them. So how do you go from there? Well, how did it affect my own playing if I was going to have to make a decision? The Pearl Jam albums, probably, the modern Hendrixy style stuff, Mike McCready, I think it was, would probably have affected my style of guitar more than the Megadeth was. Megadeth, I just enjoyed listening to. I didn't like Kevin did. He actually played some of that live. The bands I was in didn't play that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Rob's going Rust in Peace. Goes up to the 11. David St. Hubbins, the patron saint of quality footwear. That's what it was. We say that a lot around here. St. Hubbins. Okay, let's see here. Pearl Jam for Kevin. Charlie as well. Jason as well. Chris is going Megadeth. I liked 10 at the time, but it rarely gets a spin now. That's true. I haven't listened to it in a very long time. Every once in a while you hear it. I'll hear it somewhere, or like a video will pop up on YouTube. So we got Pearl Jam 3, Megadeth 2. Let's see. So I guess it's going to the Pearl Jam for that. All right. And let's see here. Rob says, Megadeth guitaring made me slow down and think about my playing. Lucretia is insane to try to play. Yeah, it's a neat out. I may sit down and learn it. I may take a week or two and at least learn my favorite songs there. Okay, this is a good one. Rage Against Machine, RATM, Rage Against the Machine versus Purple, Stone Temple Pilots. So Rage versus STP. I know what I think for this. Purple, Stone Temple Pilots was more friendly than Rage Against the Machine. You had to be sneaky with the Rage Against the Machine because you're going to get some stuff that you can't play in front of your kids and and your parents and everything. Purple, you could play it, it was out there and everything. But as far as guitar parts, for me, Rage Against the Machine, just learning a lot of that stuff. So let's see here. What do we got? We've got Jason's in first with Rage. Chris as well. Charlie as well. Rob says, tough one for sure. STP has the hooks, but guitar-wise, it got to go Rage. That's what I was putting out there. Kevin says another tough one, Rage. So Rage takes this one. Although everybody's kind of, it's close on this one, but Rage edges it out. Okay, so here we are in round 3. We're coming up to the hour. Perfect timing. Look at this. All right, so this is interesting. This is good. This is good. Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic versus the Black Album. Both huge albums, had both of the albums, played songs off of both of the albums, taught songs off of both of the albums. Probably both contributed to my guitar playing. Interesting. Very interesting. And Metallica. Okay, let's get this started here. Kevin's in first. Kevin's going Metallica for this one. Yeah. This is a head scratcher. Charlie's in. The timing of how the comments come in say a lot. So let's see here. Kevin said black. Charlie says black. Chris is going for Shantae. I don't know. Maybe I need to, and I think I need to watch an interview with him and see what he said. Usually someone who has a tough last name to say in the beginning of the interview, the interviewer usually has to introduce them and get the name wrong, and then they get corrected. I think I have to watch an interview of his, so I can get the pronunciation correct. But Chris is on Chili Peppers. Rob is Metallica. He says I'm metal as hell. And Chili Peppers dropped their metal side on this album. Okay, and then let's see here. Chris says Blood Sugar made more of a contribution. Okay, so Chris says I used to hate playing Metallica. Too much riffing put me off on the guitar a little, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's over the top, and that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to be over the top. So Jason's in with Metallica. So Metallica is going to take this one. Looks, I've got 4 for Metallica. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Metallica takes that one. They took this one pretty handily there. And then 10 against Rage Against the Machine. This one I think will be easier if I'm reading the room correctly. 10 against Rage Against the Machine. I've been thinking as a guitar player, somebody who's played guitar and teaches guitar, there are certain songs that are the guitar solos that you should know. There are certain guitar songs that everyone should know. And a lot of those songs, I just know pieces of them. I always tell people, learn full songs, So Lisa and I are going to be doing a cover band here just for fun, because this is a fun place, and we want to do a cover band. And I'm going to have like a whole set of like songs that a guitar player should be able to play, Eruption and Still Got the Blues, and all those big guitar songs that you want to play. And these kind of albums and best guitar albums and best guitar songs, best guitar solos is really getting me. I'm really kind of narrowing down. I think we'll do this in the VIP section too. Maybe I'll let you guys steer me in a set. Okay, so we got Pearl Jam and Rage. Let's see what we got. Rob's in first. Said, this is a tough one. Chris is going 10. All right, so we got 1 for Pearl Jam so far. Yeah, it's a tough one. This is a tough one. I really enjoy the guitar in Rage. Pearl Jam is a more mainstream style, and Rage Against the Machine is on the other side. But the guitar playing in Pearl Jam was fantastic. Let's see here. Chris says 10. Got that one. Charlie says 10 as well. Rob says Feel versus Vibe. Right. I'll go 10. I flipped the coin. Okay. So we got 3 for Pearl Jam. We got Chris, Charlie, and Rob. We'll wait for Jason. And he says, yeah, it's a tough one. Jason, and then let's see here. Who else are we missing here? We got 4. We're just missing 1. I think we'll wait on Jason for a second here. But it's looking Pearl Jam's 4. We'll go ahead and give it to Pearl Jam. They couldn't come back. Rage couldn't come back from that one. So it was a big album in the 90s. Jason went 10 too. Okay, cool. All right. So there's round 3. We're going to do our round 4 for our second day, and then we're going to pit last week's, which was No More Tears, against the winner of either the Black Album or 10, Pearl Jam. Let's go. The semifinals here. Jason says Morello is an inspiration, though. Yeah, very, 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 very cool player coming from a different place. And he's a big Star Trek fan, too. So interesting. Black Album versus 10. Black Album versus 10. For guitar, both incredibly listenable. For guitar, very influential for that time period. For myself, 10 would be more of the style of music that I would play than Metallica, but I learn a lot from teaching the Metallica stuff all the time. It's tough to do. This is a tough one. All right. So Kevin was in first with Metallica. Rob's going to say Metallica, although it took me a while to appreciate what they were doing, it stands the test of time. Yeah. Charlie's going for Metallica. Chris is going 10. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're waiting on one more. I think it's who are we waiting on? We get Charlie's here. Charlie, Chris, Rob, Kevin. Is it Jason? Last one Jason said was Morel's an inspiration though. So we're waiting on Jason here. But it looks like Metallica's okay. Metallica. Richard! Hey man, Richard's here. How you doing, Richard? Great to see you. We're almost done. We're about to wrap this up. This one looks as if Metallica has taken it. So here we go. This is for all the marbles here. It's Ozzy versus Metallica. 90's, and the two best guitar albums of the 90's are heavy albums. Although No More Tears had some lighter stuff in it. But it's Zakk Wylde, so it's heavy there. Let's see, there's some stuff came in here first. Rob says, on a side note, what's going on in the intro for Struggle Within? It's crazy good. I don't know. I have to go back and listen. To that. Let's see here. Kevin says, it's tough. Back when these came out, I was playing more Metallica, but now I'd be playing more Pearl Jam. And Charlie said, Peppers. When was that? That was back one. So Charlie may be behind in the stream a little bit there. Okay. So this is for it. This is for all the marbles. Ozzy versus Metallica. No More Tears. Zakk Wylde versus Kirk and James. The team of Kirk and James is really interesting. When you see them, when you see them in interviews and stuff like that, I always felt like their two personalities shouldn't work, but they do. Kirk is he's kind of on his own kind of thing, and James is straight ahead, which I guess is why they sound like they do. James is straight ahead in his personality and his guitar playing, and Kirk is trying stuff and looking at things and everything. And Zakk Wylde's he's just straight up talented. One of my favorite guitar players. Chris is going Ozzy, so this is for the whole thing. Got one for Ozzy. Kevin's going Metallica. Rob says, literally flipped a coin again. Metallica, I cannot pick. So we got 2 for Metallica, 1 for Ozzy. This could still go either way. We've only have 3 votes in. We got 2 left. It could, if they both go to Ozzy, he would win. If one more goes to Metallica, they take it. And here we are. Jason is in. He says Metallica. I didn't think I would go that way, but as a whole, the Black Album is solid. All right, so that's 3. But then again, we also have Richards here too. So we'll see. We'll see here. Kevin says, when it comes to Ozzy, I'm partial to Jakey Lee. Yeah, Jakey Lee's pretty cool. I just saw an interview with him. What's that other band he's doing now? Oh, forget it. And it's just a bunch of LA guitar player guys. Richard's in. Richard says Metallica. So Metallica, Black Album, Metallica takes it for the best guitar album of the 90's. But this was a lot of cool albums, man. This is a Badlands. I remember Badlands. Red Dragon Cartel. That's right. Red Dragon Cartel is what he's doing now. But Badlands, I had that album. I had the Badlands album. I like that too. What was Jakey Lee on? Was it Bark at the Moon? I think that was the album, the Ozzy album that he did. Bark at the Moon was really, really cool. Really cool. Jason says Metallica's having one of those masterclass things about keeping a band working together. I kind of find that ironic. Yeah. Kevin says this stuff with Badlands was great. Yeah, really cool. Chris says, how more black could it be? It could be none. It's none more black. Oh man, so many good stuff. I'm gonna I think my daughter may be old enough for Spinal Tap. She's getting the guitar bug now. Heavy, like riff rock stuff. And I think maybe it's time. I don't know. I got to remember what's in there. I like the blues, the jazz blues jazz odyssey, and and I love the. We should watch that. Is it streaming? Who streams Spinal Tap? We should do one of those where we all watch it together. That'd be fun. The Stonehenge that was trod upon by the little people, because on the napkin he wrote 18 inches instead of 18 feet. Oh goodness. Oh, Chris and Hyde have another thing in common. Way too much Spinal Tap. It was awesome. Okay. Well, there we go. It is noon here in the Eastern time zone, and we have done it. We have got the best guitar albums of the 90s. Ozzy fell to Metallica. So Metallica is the winner with the Black Album. And this was fun. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me today. Coming up, so we have some coaching on Friday. I'm going to be having the private podcast. I'll be doing that probably tomorrow morning. And getting these Marshalls going, getting some good tones from them. I've got finding an easy way to swap pedals in and out too. I've got the Vintage Modern. It's got KT66s in it, and it's hot rodded, so it's very easy to get a really close Van Halen 1 sound with it. And it's also, you can get a lot of good plexi tones with it. The JCM 2000, which is the DSL 50, which I bought because it was a common, when I was playing all, festivals and stuff like that, they always had one of these. Sometimes it was all they had. Usually for a blues, you'd want a Fender of some sort, but they kept finding these DSL 50s and DSL 100s. So I bought one so I could get used to it. So if I had to use it, I would know. And it was not expensive at the time. I actually modded it a little bit, but it's more JCM 800, although it's not really quite that. And it doesn't sound the greatest until you crank it up over 4. So I'm going to have to figure something like that, some sort of load box or something I used to have a Weber load box, which I sold, but I need to get something else for it. But we're going to be doing some Marshall stuff this week. Rob says, what's one guitar album you'd recommend to check out that maybe the peeps wouldn't know about? If you're looking for lead guitar and ideas for lead guitar, and you don't mind listening to more fusion-y type stuff, there's an album called Late Nite, Nite, by Larry Carlton. And so Larry Carlton is known for kind of like Steely Dan stuff and commercial work and all that kind of stuff. But this album, he's using lighter string guitar, and chops are amazing. And he uses these super arpeggios where you go through these arpeggio shapes, and the farther you go, the more out that you play. And his playing is not scale based; it's arpeggio based. It's chord tone soloing. We did a whole section on chord tone soloing, and it's a master class on how to sound good playing inside and then how to tastefully get some tension in your playing. And it's blazing. There are some songs on that just the song itself, not just the lead, but the song itself, I've been working on for a long time just to be able to play it. So the technique on that album is incredible. So that's one that people probably would not know about. Late Night by Larry Carlton. He does some like Miles Davis stuff. It rocks all of it up. Really cool stuff. That's one of that. So What is the first song? Yeah, it's So What's a Miles Davis song. Yeah. And you can hear where he goes in, goes out. Let's see here. Let me get the what's the song? Let's see here. Don't Give It Up. It's like a fast, it's like a boogie shuffle. Don't Give It Up it's in particular the song that I'm talking about. It's very difficult to play. It uses triads against a bass note, so that he's using different arpeggios in ways that are not just like an Yngwie would play, and not just like diatonic arpeggios. He's using them very smartly. So that's one of those albums that I can't ever get past. Yeah. And so a couple of them, like Emotions Wound Us So, that it's very slow. A couple of the songs, but this was at the Baked Potato it's a club in California. It's a little club that added horns later. You don't really need the horns, but there are some videos of him playing it. And it's an album that no one knows about. It's a live album from a player that you might not want to go listen to because of how they're known. But a lot of stuff good listening and a lot of stuff to learn from that. Okay. He said, sweet. We'll check it out. Thanks. Cool. All right, everybody. I'm going to call it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks, Rob, all the way from New Zealand. Thanks, Kevin and Chris and Jason. Richard. Good to see you, Richard. Charlie. Great to see you, Charlie. Did I miss anybody? I got Kevin, Jason, Rob, Charlie. Yeah, I think so. But had a lot of fun today. And Jason says, have a great day, everybody. I second that. Have a great day. And I will see you all soon. And got any ideas about another Throwdown? I think I might want to do a Kahoot thing too, like we did that one time. I don't know. We'll talk about it in the VIPs. See you guys.